and research and planning, and evaluation posts.
Do you have more time?
Further use of Blogger will be shown as I show how to embed prezzies, etc. I am showing you how I have used Prezi, but for my evaluation question, one of my evaluation questions. So, as you can see, when I click on side 1, you will hear a dialogue over because I have included a voice step. So how this is done is when things... Okay, so here you have all text. So how to get a text box is to just click on the screen and then you can type away. How I would go about getting a voiceover is replace it wouldn't say replace, but if this was a new one, it would to add a voiceover path set, which I've recorded using my iPhone, and then I've inserted the voiceover through that. To add pictures, such as this one, if I have them saved in my downloads, for example, I would go in image, and then I would further look for the image that I needed, and then it would directly insert into it. To insert a video, what I do first is I'd have to go on YouTube, I'd upload a video onto YouTube, and once I've uploaded, then there would be a URL that comes up, and then from this URL, sorry about this, so from the URL, I would go on to insert YouTube video and then type and paste the URL, and then the video would directly come up. Another way I have used Prezi is to document my SurveyMonkey results, as you can see, and SurveyMonkey is another software which I'll be showing you later on. Is how you use SurveyMonkey. So you press create a survey, and you give it a title such as magazine questionnaire. So you can do this at different processes of magazine production or any kind of production, and you can go add new question, and I want to ask a question that is open-ended but can also be answered as close-ended questions as well. So I might ask a question like, what do you like my colour scheme? Do you like my colour scheme? Please, I'll spell please right, comment further. Okay, so after I've done that, what I do is answer. You have to put in answer choices. So I would put in yes, and I put in no. So these would be the closed questions. And if for the comment further, I'd add another. So then I put display comment, and then I would go over. Make sure it's specific length. I want to have a paragraph of text and 100 characters to make sure that the answers would be detailed. So the whole point of this is, once I've created a questionnaire, and once people have responded after like showing it to them via emailing them or messaging them the SurveyMonkey URL, and after they've responded, I'll be able to use this evidence to show that I have responded to audience feedback, which is also an evaluation question as well. I also used emails to document certain processes such as the post-production, and basically once I have created an emails, what I do is I go back to Blogger, and then I create a new post, and then I use HTML, and then I put in the code, and then press compose, and then it comes up as an email, which I'll show you properly after. So with email software, what I did was I got a basic text box by text to add text, and then I can get things like title, and I'm showing you this example of how I use my voiceover. So there's different slide options, so I have used this one to show the 3 facts about the mode of address. Then for my voiceover, I have also done things like the 30 scene. So I have used the text tool for this. I've also used media to paste URLs which have been documents such as my MP3 converted sound, such as my voiceover, which is here. So when you press click here to listen to the voiceover. And Emaze is an easy software to use because you can use things like shapes. So the shapes is optional here, and then you can change the colour with this tool. Also, say if things aren't working properly and because the layer is locked, all you have to do is press unlock, and then you'll be able to change things around. So let's look at how you actually embed an Emaze. So let's make a new Emaze.
So you could talk about going it's just too late. The whole film. So first that one.
Let's go back on Blogger, and let's go on voice over. So the edits.
So
Let's look.
I wish you came in Asia for like a
Sorry about this. Possibly this one. Yes, so here's a blogger. I have used the type tool on Blogger to put it in, and I go on HTML, and once I paste from Emaze the coding, I paste it into Blogger on the HTML, and then I press compose, and then it appears here, and then all I have to do is press the word update, and then it's done. So I have used YouTube for multiple purposes, so let's have one purpose of YouTube. So when I want to evaluate a trailer or insert a trailer to accompany a piece that I've done on Blogger, I would put in a trailer that was of the social realism genre, such as Kidulthood. So I get Kidulthood up, I press pause, I go on the URL, copy it.
Because I got the picture, I knew that I wanted the knife
this,
in the middle,
and
so I
then
got that
I
one
would
straight
go
away,
on
and he was
this,
like, yeah, that's great.
and then
I
I'm
need to do
like,
something else. What else do you want me to do, Jordan?
and that is how it is. So then when I publish it, you can actually see it on the Blogger, and then that will be shown. The reason I have used YouTube is to upload original footage. So as you can see here, on my post-production, there is lots of raw footage. For example, a vlog scene. So when it comes to the vlog scene, to make the process faster and to make the quality better, what I would have done is I would have gone and upload, and then would have selected the file to upload, then paste the URL into this, and then I'd go on this icon and use my YouTube business and look for what I need to find. The reason our group has used YouTube is to put on the final trailer, and this will be able to be accessed by the public, so they can watch the actual trailer, the finalised production. How I have constructed my print. So here's my magazine front cover, my final production. So in my magazine front cover I used multiple tools such as the horizontal text tool, as you can see here, and in the horizontal text tool you have multiple options to look at different typography. As we're talking on the topic of typography, I have used the font.com for my masthead, and I have looked at how a certain type of typography, downloaded it, and once it's downloaded, what I do is I look through here and find the right typography that I have just downloaded to get spotlight into it. When it came to the first year, I wasn't sure how to use this process, but then after learning it, I was being able to apply this process again. So other parts of
But yeah, so as we knocked out
magazine production is using other tools. So other tools that I've looked at many tools when it comes to selecting out the background for my main image, because I wanted just my main image solely, and there's different ways that you can go about this. So you can use things like the magic wand tool and the quick selection tool and also the lasso tool. But the tool that I prefer to use in the end was the pen tool. Also, other tools that have been used in this is things like zooming in and zooming out. The process of zooming in was to get closer to more intricate details, such as like the hoop seat here. Other tools that I have used is things like the rulers. So the ruler's purpose is to make sure everything is aligned accurately. I have also looked at other tools, such as when it comes to text. You can see here I have put effects such as drop shadow. This can be done by double clicking, and then you can look at all these and add a shadow and play around with that. Other tools that I have used is the crop tool. The crop tool is good for when it comes for background and things like that from the original image. I have also looked at tools such as the smudge tool and the blur tool. This is for certain intricate little details. And that is just a few examples of what I've done to construct my movie magazine front cover. The other form of endorsement of the film is the poster. So in the poster production, I have used multiple types of tools again, and such as the horizontal type tool, which is the most important one for, especially when it comes to the words. For certain words, such as like depressed here, I've changed down the opacity, which has been explained in my blog of why I've done that. I've also inserted images such as the Film 4 and the Weinstein Company, and this is so then I can credit such distribution and production companies, as you can see. I've also included things like in the coming soon text typography. I've been able to use certain effects. Also, when it comes to construction, I've also had to get rid of the background when it came to my main image. So this has been done through multiple ways. One time I tried the quick selection tool and the magic wand tool, and then I also resorted to the pen tool. So these different types of processes took out certain information, certain parts. When it came to certain parts, I also used the eraser tool to just get rid of certain intricate details. I have also used the magic wand tool, especially by when I wanted to get certain features such as the reefs. I opened them up into a separate document, and then I used the magic wand tool to get rid of the background and then drag it onto here. And also the reefs originally were gold, which you can see in my production, so the tool that I used for that was the paint bucket tool to make sure that they were white. I've also used the gradient tool. So the gradient tool, as you can see, it's on the gradient layer. So when it comes to the gradient tool, all I have to do is click on the gradient tool. I also just pick out my two colours, which is based on these colours here, and then I can get my colour scheme from that. I've used many other features as well, such as when it comes to the steel tongue typography. I downloaded it from the internet, the steel tongue font, because this typography wasn't already included. So the reason I've done this is because in all types of posters, no matter the genre, they include steel tongue typography for crediting people, and we have done the crediting as close to the actual roles of that people have performed in our actual production, but some things have changed depending on the actual procedure. So let's
There
also,
is a lot of
and I just want to comment on how there is much more different things I've included, such as when it came to his hair, I have also like smudged it and blurred it to make it more puffy and alive. And I just wanted to say that there is many other types of tools that I've used, which has been explained on my blog post, well, in my blog. You how to use After Effects, and so the first thing that you do is open a new composition, then you name the composition. You have an option to change the background. This has been done previous to actually opening this. Then I used this text tool here, and then I typed in how to use After Effects. And now I wanted to show you a common actual animated effect that I used in, well, our group used in the trailer, which has been consistently used. So let's look at this. So it goes in effects and presets, and then we go in type.
Sorry.
Right.
It's fine, I'm cutting that bit out anyway.
Well, Sarah, I nearly had
Type
you
right
going
in.
sexy in the back of mine, but luckily I just started it a little bit later.
Typewriter. So
You
as
said
you
it
can see
earlier,
here,
you
the
was like
typewriter all I
sexy.
need is drag it onto effect, and here we go. Then I go on
It was
composition,
nearly in the back of my eye
preview,
showing you,
play,
so I got it more
how
right.
to use After Effects. There we go. And then all I have to do after this, I can choose where I want to position it. As you can see, I can also play around with other effects, such as the blur and sharpen, the stylize. I can emboss it, I can do whatever I want to it, and I can change things around. It makes a slight difference. But let's say I'm finished with that now. And now I
There you go.
So now all I need to do is render it. So once it's been rendered, which is quite a bit of a process, I can pull it into Premiere Pro, and once it's into Premiere Pro, it can be a part of the trailer composition. Go over how to use Solver software. So when it comes to Solver, the reason why we used it was to generate names for our film trailer, and also to support the idea of using what we have decided for our strapline. So the idea is to type in a bunch of stuff, and then by adding the comments, it generates them, and as it goes generating, it will show like these type of symbols, but the symbol that we're looking for is a tick, and when it shows a tick, it shows that the idea is good. This is how to render on After Effects. So you go on actual After Effects, then once it's clicked, you go on File, Export, Add to Render Queue, and once it's on Render Queue, it goes a big blue bar. After you click Render, it goes big blue bar, and then boom, done. Considering narrative of our trailer, I have created a GarageBand composition, and in the GarageBand composition, as you can see, consisted of certain loops, and also changing the volume by using this node system, and well, also it's like a fading system, and including little parts such as extracting a part of a note and then adding it on the end. And basically the GarageBand composition will be played throughout the trailer to mimic the idea that the character Dan is playing the piano, which complements the circular narrative structure which has been described in Google Blogger. Make a comment that I have used PowerPoint for different reasons. One reason is to insert images from the internet on, and then I can convert it into JPEG, and then I can put it into my Google Blogger for research and planning purposes. Other reasons are to actually compose a few things, but mainly it's just to do with research and planning. I also use Word to construct my voiceover. This is where I typed the voiceover over, and then also used the Word to email the voiceover to members of the groups and they could contribute to the overall production. Home, I didn't have access to iShowU, so I use an alternative software known as VoiceThread, and I've used them for posts such as research and planning and evaluation posts. As you can see here, when I click, The software captures voice and allows me to add an image, and when I add the image you can see exactly what I'm talking about. Premiere Pro was used to construct the actual trailer production. This is for the editing process, and basically I have done for this question, for the technology question, I have used Premiere Pro to construct the question, and when you watch it, you'll be able to see what type of things that I've done. But just to go over basic facts of Premiere Pro, so on effects you have all these effects such as dissolves and stuff like that, and the dissolves can be inserted into there, and when it comes to the dissolves I can double click and then I can change the time and stuff like that. There's also other things that have been done using Premiere Pro, but further details will be shown in other questions and also on the blog.